YouTube? It's Donny here. I got a quick little message, something I had to share with y'all. Recently, I've been studying a little bit more into the mysticism religion that Freemasons practice and the elites practice. This is something that not a lot of people talk about, but it's the origin of science and magic. It's called alchemy. And what I found, cut to the chase. What I found is they use a lot of symbolism, just like Freemasons use a lot of symbolism. But what I'm realizing about these symbolism is not all these symbols are just symbols. These symbols mean something. They're spells. They give power to things, strength to things, cause chaos to things. There are spells in some of these symbols. Not all symbols, not all logos, just some. And I'm finding a lot of symbolism in electronics, meaning the wiring diagrams at the atomic level. When you follow atoms through an electronic circuit, there is a component schematic that goes with it. And it's a symbol for each component and the path that the electrons flow. Well, let me start off by telling you that everybody knows that Lucifer works backwards to forward. Just like we move from A to B, he moves from B to A. As above, so below. It's a mirror image of everything that we do. That's Lucifer. Okay? If you spoke backwards all the time without control, you would most likely be possessed. Okay? So, with that being said, I've also just kind of put a few things together. Well, looking at schematics, electronic components, electrons flow from negative to positive. That's how our equipment works. Every equipment that you plug into the wall or put a battery in, energy flows negative to positive, not positive to negative. Ground to positive. So, now hear me out. This might be a little far-fetched, but I'm noticing some serious similarities in electronic diagrams and symbols. And when I tell you what these symbols are, it's going to freak you out. Okay? First off, let me start off with this. This is something I just drew from memory. This is a schematic that manipulates energy. Okay? See it here? Manipulates energy and stores it. How you do that? AC voltage comes in here. This is a ground symbol. Now pay attention to these symbols because they're going to be significant later. This is a ground symbol, comes up through a capacitor which stores energy. Come up through a resistor which increases the amperage. Through a coil which stores and upgrades the energy, steps it up. Another capacitor stores the energy. This circuit here takes the power that I put in this circuit, the alternating current, and changes it to direct current, manipulates it. You see what I'm saying? So now we're manipulating electrons at an atomic level. And then here, the output power goes to an external antenna. So right there you have internal power, rectified, manipulated, and pushed outward into an airborne signal. In that small circuit, you manipulate and store electrons at the atomic level. Now, to me, I think there's some no-no in there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just the fact that we're manipulating electrons at the atomic level just does not seem right. So right there, electronic devices tell me there's some satanic, essence about them. From the very first television to the handheld you hold now, there's some satanic essence about them. So now, just by looking at these basic wiring diagrams, let's move on to, okay, this is a Masonic, very famous Masonic symbol. This is kind of irrelevant to what we're talking about. But here's a quick definition of alchemy. It's a philosophical and proto-scientific tradition practiced throughout Europe, Africa, and Asia. It aimed to purify, mature, and perfect certain objects. Common aims were chrysopia and transmutation of base metals into noble metals, particularly gold. Now, do you understand what that is? They made a material that could turn base metals into gold and an elixir that could give you immortality. This is crazy. This is stuff that Freemasons work on and practice, and part of their lives, their everyday lives. This is still practiced today. Alchemy. It's a cross between science and mysticism. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you, first off, hold on, let's go. I'm going to skip past this because I don't want you to read it. Okay, here we go to another wiring diagram, kind of like similar to the one that I made. Okay, so here you have more diodes, their shape, their polarities, transformers. You got some more grounded out circuits here, okay? And then we'll switch, got some more advanced here. Now really, really look at these. Look at these symbols, okay? Because now I'm going to blow your mind. Look at these symbols. So now when you turn on power and you run electrons through these circuits from negative to positive, you know, you're giving life to this circuit. You're giving power to this circuit on an elemental form, okay? Not just giving it power by thinking about it. You're giving it elemental power, real power, turning it on. Now, look at these symbols and compare them to these symbols. Okay? Look at some of these symbols. That's a ground symbol there. That's an antenna symbol with a ground symbol and a totally complete electronic circuit right there. These are the symbols for batteries and airborne signal. And this is the symbol for ground into a coil. Electronic symbols. Now, do you know what you're looking at right now? You're looking at sigils to summon demons. These sigils are used to summon demons, specific by name. Babilel, Barkilel, all the ones with B's. I mean, sigil after sigil. These are specifically used to summon demons. Now, I have found many of these symbols in electronic schematics. So what if, now hear me out, what if every time you use specific electronic components, you are helping in the aid to summon major demons? Do you ever notice the days where you use your electronic devices more and more each day? You have the worst luck you've ever had in your life. But the days you go on vacation, you drop your electronic devices, you drop off the grid, and you had some of the best memories you've ever had, and you keep flicking back to those memories, and there's a reason why, because those memories are not tainted with Lucifer. That's why. We're constantly tainting our lives with Satanism, and this is how they're doing it. They're doing it ninja style, so you don't even know that what you're using is helping the aid to summon major demons. Now, I know that sounds far-fetched, but this is a sigil list from F News magazine. Here are the following lists of several demons and their sigils of summoning. Now, this popular magazine is telling you how to summon demons. Now, this is today's times, people. Please, I repeat, pray for your soul. I mean, you can look at some of these other sigils, and they're not just electronic. They're parts of logos that you see in major corporations and stuff like that. Symbols they use for the moon and the sun. I mean, this symbolism is used by us all the time. There's a reason why when you're in second grade, you take spelling. Because what they've taught you is a method of casting spells. Just your speech, putting sentences together is a form of spell casting. They've laid out a whole magical realm of reality that we take part in every day, and we have no fucking idea. Well, some of us don't. Some of us do. But here's what this person wrote from F Magazine. Thank you. Our master acknowledges your vigilance for giving all those 89 sigils. But those sigils look a lot like this and more like this. This is more advanced wiring diagrams here. You don't mean to tell me those summoning sigils don't look a lot like this? This is just one aspect of electronics wiring diagrams. There's many others that describe many other components and many other laws of physics. So how is that far-fetched that you might use something from Apple, who has been known to be very satanic? How do you know every time you don't use your iPhone, you're not summoning Belial or Cazamel or some other big name demon? All I can say is, I know it sounds crazy, but do some more research yourself into alchemy and do some more research into the crossover and power structure of symbols. These symbols bring life and power to these demons. Food for thought. God bless.